Hi, Kyle Harris, and we're going to talk. Tonight's video is going to be about doing drill work at home. If you have nowhere to go, no place to go outside, working on movement and control of the body using things that you have at your house. So all of the items that we're going to show you are things that probably everybody has at their home, that you can do all of these drills even in a small space. And this is a great time to do it when we are, for lack of a better term, quarantined with the pandemic. These are things that we can do to help rework our movement patterns to make sure when we are able to go train the right way that we can actually build a good foundation and change things that we need to change, so when we do our full swings we're moving better. So the first thing here that we have is a mirror. Everybody's got a mirror. So the drills that we're going to show you, you're going to be able to do. If you can do them in front of a mirror, that's even better. So get yourself a mirror, get your mirror out, and get to work there. Next two things we have are your bat. You all have a bat. You wouldn't be watching these videos if you didn't. And a broomstick. Now ideally we'd be using a PVC pipe that's somewhere between 4 and 5 foot long, but if you don't have PVC and you can't get out to get any right now, you can use a broomstick. Even if you can't unscrew it like this one, turn it upside down, use it this way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with some simple movement things. You can put that PVC stick or that broomstick across your chest. You can even use your bat. You're going to get your stance here. And what we can do is we can work on just our stride. So with our stride, we want to use our back hip to control everything. So our back heel is in the ground, and we got a nice little hip hinge. And if you watched the video the other day I made talking about that pelvic tilt, we want to be there. We don't want to be arched up. If we're arched up, we're going to end up spinning. We want to have that nice flat back. And what we can also do here, the first thing we're going to do is get that PVC stick or broomstick on our back. We're going to make sure there's not a gap back there. Okay, we're going to close that off, pelvic tilt, and then we're just going to practice rotating right through here. Now, this is a great visualization on how we rotate. We don't want to think about our axis of rotation being straight up and down and our body rotating around it this way. We want to think of our axis of rotation being with our tilt, our pelvic tilt, our nice good athletic position, and then we're rotating around it that way. You can see it on my back now, same thing. We're here, we're rotating this way. We can also get a good feel on how our heel stays in the ground and how our back leg works with that. Now the next thing we can do is we can work on that good attack approach with a slightly downward angle with our front side. So our front shoulder wants to be lower than our back shoulder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually get a little closer than normal. That way we can kind of pick our leg up and work on our forward move. If we get too wide, what happens is we sway back. We don't want to sway back. We especially don't want that knee to get on the outside of the foot. We want to keep it on the inside of the foot, as you can see illustrated here with the stick. So we're here, back heel's in the ground. We're going to start closer than normal and stride. Now, as we get into this position, I like to tell kids, take your feet in the ground and try to push the floor apart. Feel yourself using the ground here. And if you do it right, you'll be able to feel yourself move your center of mass together. Nice and controlled, and you're in balance the whole time. After about 5 to 8 of those, what we'll do is we'll stride, push the floor apart, and then we start to work the hips open. Come back, do our stride, push the floor apart, we start to work our hips open. And you'll be able to see if you're using a mirror, if you're opening your shoulders up that way, you're doing it wrong. You want to fight the urge to open the shoulders. Stride, push it apart, rotate the hips. The next thing I like them to have them do, up, stride, push it apart, rotate the hips, then allow the upper body to pull through. And if you see, I'm trying to really fight to keep my back leg on the ground. If you don't have the mobility to do that, you can lift it a little bit there. What we're trying to avoid is the spin. This is what we want to stay away from. This is what we want to stay away from. We want more here, and then pulling through from the back. once we have that down, we can put it all together. And in this phase, what we want to do is we want to try to start opening the hips as we land. And we can actually put another step in there where we're here, pause, and then pull through. And if we get that down, we can put it together. Another way we can do this is by adding an element into the ground. So we can have our hands back this way and we can do the same drill progression. Up, step, push the floor apart. Up, step, push the floor apart. Hips. This gives me a chance to really feel that shoulder blade pinching off. And then we can start to turn a little bit there. If we can do that with the stick in the ground, we can do it with the stick across ourselves, starting to feel the proper sequence. Then we can grab our bat and we can do the same thing as we're stepping. Up, step, pull it apart. Up, step, push the ground apart. Let the hips lead. Up, step, push the ground apart. Let the hips lead. Pull through to contact. And then we can all put it together. Another thing we can start to do is if you have enough space, you can put the swing together and you can stop at check, hold that, and you can use the mirror as basically a live action camera to help adjust and see what you're doing in real time. So those are some things that you guys can do at home with real no space. If you don't have any equipment, all you need is your bat. If you have a dowel rod, a broomstick, or a PVC stick, those are great ways to do that.